learn from a couple who almost lost it all? Well, according to my next guest, quite a bit. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Liz Hale is turning our attention to an online marriage movement that she feels is a great resource for husband and wives who want that rock-strong relationship. And who doesn't? You're really impressed. Speaking of that couple, you're really impressed with these two.
I am, yes. So they're out of California. Casey and Megan Caston, and they've been married a dozen years, and they met in college. Isn't that a darling picture? Cute. 1 hour after that photo was taken, she said, we had a huge fight. Oh. So they are refreshingly honest. They had the world by the tail when they first got married, and then into year 3, it just went to heck in a handbasket. They were honest about the screaming matches, and they didn't trust each other, they didn't forgive each other, and it was difficult. They were talking about divorce. On both sides of their families, their parents, between them, they have 11 marriages. That's a lot of marriage, divorce, and remarriage. So their odds are really against it.
So almost a dozen divorces between the two of them were modeled in front of their eyes.
That's right. So they thought, well, we're not going to make it either. And they live in a county in California where the divorce rate is 71%.
Oh, wow.
But for some reason they thought, you know what, we don't even know what we're doing. What if we were to get educated, by the best of the best, and to make a difference not only in our lives, but we were the inspiration to other people's lives.
They took on that goal. They took on the role of parents as well. So that dynamic came into play. What really made the difference, Liz, for them? What turned their relationship dynamic around?
I think just deciding that let's see if we can do it different. Let's not be part of the statistic. Anybody can get divorced, but few of us can stay married, and not just married, but happily married. So they have this nonprofit organization. It's really not even out to make money. It's really out to save 1 million marriages.
Awesome. It's called Marriage 365.
Marriage365.org, meaning, 365, you think about that, every single day it takes intent. That's probably my biggest surprise of marriage. People would ask me, like, how's the adjustment of marriage going? Because we've got married very late in life, and I'd have to say, my biggest surprise was how much focus and attention and intention it takes to have a marriage that really thrives and does well.
And that's the first big takeaway you say from
every day
the Caston's movement and your own experience.
Right.
Invest every day, 365.
Yep, there are no vacations when it comes to marriage. You can't put someone on hold, especially not a marriage.
We're taught, and you've taught us, that you can't have a strong marriage without strong communication, but you say there is perhaps one thing that is even more important than those well-spoken words.
Well, that's true. It's so funny how people will come into therapy and they'll come to the Castons and they'll say, you know what, we just don't communicate. And I'm just going, oh, you communicate just fine. Disdain, distrust, disinterest. You communicate fine. That's not the problem. But the issue really is the connection, is helping these couples connect. And the Castons do a beautiful job of talking about date nights and their marriage meetings and this lovely thing called 60-second blessing, where for 60 seconds they talk to the other about maybe a tender spot. So I think for Casey, it is his mom left him at a young age. So Megan will say, you know what, I'm never going to leave you. I will always be here for you. And you are my #1 guy, and I love you more than anything. So for just 60 seconds, you talk to that person's heart. Is that sweet?
I love that.
And for Megan, it was some concern about really being a good mom. Am I a good mom? So he will say, you are the best mom. I'm so lucky I chose you to be the mother of our children.
And so that communication is forming the connection.
That's right.
That you talk about.
That's right. Every single day connect.
You say one of the main differences between, say, a struggling couple and a strong couple is making a cohesive decision. One decision. What is it?
Yeah, isn't that great? And the Castons say this really well, too. They have a beautiful sign in the back of one of their webinars, and it says, I choose love. Every day, choose love. In other words, it's really easy if your partner is in a bad mood. They're kind of going left to center. It's very easy to go left to center with them. Instead of saying, you know what, I know they're having a bad day. I know she's stressed or he's upset. I'm going to be loving anyway. That's really difficult. This week, when I get really stressed is when I have a deadline on top of like a dinner party. People are coming over for dinner.
Worst combination?
It is the worst combination for me. And so I wasn't really doing very well, and Ben and I were talking about, I said, I have got to go work on a deadline for Brooke about how to have a happy marriage, how to teach other people. He goes, oh, Liz, you have a happy marriage. He goes, no, I don't have a happy marriage right now. So it's like, touche, I really get that. So choosing love when the other person's off. Yeah, try not to be off together.
I like that. I like that. And we know marriage should be a priority. How can we do a self-check to make sure it really is?
It's so interesting because you ask the majority of people, do you make your marriage your priority? And most of us say, oh yeah, of course it's my priority. Yeah. In my heart it is. And then you might ask your partner, or maybe like you would ask Ben, so Ben, does Liz make your marriage a priority? He might say, no, I don't know. I see that text an awful lot. She's in that text, she's in that phone. But then the third option is to say, so Ben, what can I do today to make you feel that you are an absolute priority.
Asking your partner.
Yes, what could I do differently? Give me some ideas.
And about 30 seconds, Liz, if I were to ask
bet.
you to boil it down to the #1 determining factor in satisfying, long-lasting marriages, which is all of our goals, what would you say?
It is really to maintain that deep friendship. You know, we all want to know that we matter, that we're important to someone. Take note of someone's day and ask them about it when you reconnect. Be very aware of your hellos and your goodbyes, that you embrace each other. You have those 60-second kisses or however long you want to make them, but really enjoy each other and have those family meetings and have those date nights and make sex a priority. They have something really kind of cute on their website of marriage365.org called Naked Conversations, where they really talk about the truth of even something like sex. They are fully clothed, of course, but it's really about the heart of the matter, and I think every couple could really benefit from something like this particular website. I'm impressed.
What an inspiring couple. We're grateful to you for bringing that resource to our attention.
My pleasure.
And tell Ben he comes first always, before the deadline even. Before the deadline. I know he knows that.